Welcome to the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Method, which I call the 3 key pillars to lose weight and keep it off without going on another diet, even if you work crazy shifts or are extremely busy. Yeah. So I'm going to share with you how women end cravings, lose weight, and keep it off easier without dieting or depriving themselves. Even if you work 12-hour shifts, even if you've tried everything, even if you feel like giving up. How many of you can relate to any of that? I can say I felt like giving up many, many times on my own journey. So here's what you can expect. This is not your typical masterclass or training. It will be about an hour of practical content for you. I will share with you the top 4 mistakes likely holding you back, because it's the top 4 mistakes that most women make when they are trying to lose weight and get healthier. And a lot of it is you don't know what you don't know, or we've been programmed to believe it. And I'll reveal the 3 key pieces to get you to your optimal healthy weight for your body, keep it off, and end emotional eating. And I want to emphasize, get to your optimal healthy weight for your unique body. You are not a number on the scale. Everyone's body is different. I had to accept and learn that my body thrives at a higher weight when you step on the scale. But I'm at the healthiest weight I've ever been in my life. So it is not about getting to a certain size or a certain weight, because you might learn that your body actually thrives at a different number or a different size. So I'm curious, how many of you are here today because you're like, cool, the Beyond the Food Weight Loss Method? I'm curious, what's that about? Just let me know in the chat below. Or how many of you are here today because you're tired of the whole weight struggle and you're just ready to get this resolved? Or potentially, how many of you are here today because you're like, I've tried everything and I think I'm doing what I should be doing, but is it really the way to do it? Yeah, I had all those questions myself during the course of my journey. How many of you are here because you're like, I don't know, I just thought I'd just come in on training because it was an extra day training. Totally cool. So here is what you will learn. Once again, the 4 top mistakes. One of the most common mistakes women make, what women think they need to do to see results. This one is what the diet industry tells you to do, but unfortunately, it's wrong. And the number 1 mistake women make in trying to lose weight. Yeah. And once again, the 3 key pieces to get to your optimal healthy weight for your body, which include the missing essential steps. These ones must be customized, and the secret sauce to keep the weight off. So I'm curious, what would it feel like if you had an easy way of eating where you can still eat what you want, the foods that you like to eat, while maintaining a positive sense of being in control? What would that feel like? I gotta say, back in my dieting days, my weight loss journey, I was like, yo, show me the money. Like, an easy way of eating, I can still eat what I want. What? Tell me more about that one. And I'm curious, how would you feel to no longer count points, track calories, weigh your food, or worry about if certain foods will cause you to gain weight, right? It seems like every 6 months to a year, there's a different diet that comes out, right? Which says to eat this and not that. or eat more of this and less of that. And it seems to be changing so many times. I know it's changed so many times since I first started my own health and weight loss journey. And it can be very confusing. So my question was always, well, what's the right thing to do, right? It can be confusing. And I'm curious, what if you're able to do all of this without giving up your favorite foods, depriving yourself, or going on yet another diet? Yeah, what would that be worth to you? I'm curious, what would that be worth to you? Yeah. So I'm here to tell you that it is possible. These are some of my clients, some of the women that I've worked with, and it is possible. Brandy, I'm going to tell you more about Brandy in a little bit and about the results that she got. Sharon finally got over a weight loss plateau within the first week. She said, I finally got over it. She broke that plateau. Kathy lost 5 pounds in 5 days. And she was a former yo-yo dieter for about 50 years. And I can relate to that because I was a professional former yo-yo dieter. And she learned what she needed to eat for her body. She learned what was going on behind the scenes of self-sabotage. And she says, I'm on this journey to better health and not giving up on herself. Yeah. And then April came to me. She had various health issues. So we worked with her healthy eating plan, which was recommended by her doctor because her health issues were causing infertility issues for her. And her doctor said, you know, we really need to work on your health issues so that you can conceive. Well, I can say April is now pregnant with her second child. She has a little boy and she will soon have a little girl. So exciting, so exciting. Yeah, it's here to tell you that it is possible. Yes. And here's Trisha. She won one of my programs. Yeah. Helping to change bad health habits. Yeah. And it's not about judgment or negativity. And so she mentioned that it was a positive eye-opening experience and that the action guides kept her on track. Yeah. So once again, it's possible. Some of my other clients, Nancy lost 15 pounds, Kathy lost 9 pounds, Danielle, 25 pounds, Brandy, 7 pounds, Susie, 9 pounds. April was able to conceive and have a baby and she's pregnant again. Gina's autoimmune symptoms improved and she actually lost the excess weight and more. So who is this for? This is for women who work in healthcare. This is for women who struggle with keeping the excess weight off. This is for women who are tired of dieting. This is for women who struggle with emotional or stress eating. So if you're busy and stressed and you want to easily kick that stress eating to the curb, this is for you. If you've ever been freaked out by the thought of starting yet another diet and you want simple ways to get to your optimal healthy weight, this is for you. If you're ready to finally get this eating thing handled so you can allow your best self to shine, this is for you. And this might not be for you, and that's totally cool. This is not for someone looking for a quick fix. No, we've got to take action. This is not for someone not willing to put in the work. This is not for someone looking for how to cut calories and exercise more, because let's be honest, if that really was the way to lose weight and keep it off, we would not be struggling. And the diet and weight loss industry would not be a over $1 billion industry. Yeah. Yeah. This is not for someone who wants to do nothing and lose weight. It's not a push button. There is no magic pills, as much as I would love that, right? That'd be so easy. So who I am, if you're not familiar with me, I am Pamela Pedrick. I am a registered nurse and a certified health coach. I also have my master's in counseling. So I've done group work, I've done individual work in my years. And I am not, my life has never was not always like this. I was not always helping women in their weight loss and health struggles, because I too had my own weight loss and health struggles. And so it kind of started with freshman year in college. You know how they say you can gain the freshman 15? Well, I gained the freshman 25. And then my junior year in college, I had the privilege of going and studying abroad in France. And they had all my favorites, you know, the cheese and the bread. And I thought, when am I going to have another chance for this? So I gorged on all the cheese and all the bread I could eat. And I came back 10 pounds heavier. So then I first started my official DIET, where I tracked my calories, where I ate low fat and fat-free foods. Yeah. And so I followed the diet gurus, because this is what they said to do to lose weight. I counted calories and fat. I kept the fat, so I ate the low fat and fat-free foods. Let me know if you can relate to this one. And I felt bad when I ate those bad foods, right? When I ate all the fats, the fatty foods, I felt bad because they were the bad foods. I felt deprived during social occasions because I didn't eat the dessert that I really wanted to eat. I had all the no butter on my food and all the other things that they say not to do, right? And so the food wasn't as flavorful during the time. They didn't have as many options then as they do nowadays, by the way. I switched from ice cream to frozen yogurt. I switched from soda to diets. Made all the changes. And I started to use artificial sweeteners in my coffee and my tea. So I followed what was the very popular eat low fat and fat-free foods, because fat makes you fat. But unknowingly to me, when I ate those low fat and fat-free foods, it was loaded with sugar to give food its flavor. So while I did lose some pounds and inches, that kind of started me on a whole roller coaster hamster wheel of my dieting years, to where I can say I am a former yo-yo dieter, because I did almost every diet on the planet trying to lose the excess weight. And it got to the point where I had done so many of them, I kept feeling like maybe this one right here, the next one would have the missing piece, because I felt like there has to be something missing. What is this missing component? And then it got to the point where I felt like I'm just a failure, right? If all these women can lose the weight, because you see the infomercials where she lost 50 pounds and she lost 100 pounds. And like, if they can do it, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the component that's the failure. So it kind of messed with my emotional health. I got to the point where I ended up being a binge eater, which I did not recognize, because I only did it during the weekends, right? And so Thursday, Friday night, I'd go to the grocery store and get my binge food, the Ben and Jerry's. I'd order Papa John's and I'd get my Doritos and my Oreos, and I'd have my binge fest starting that night, all into the weekend. And then I had an unwritten rule in my home that I had to have all of the food eaten by Monday, because I didn't want to feel like crap during the work week. So now I'm at my highest weight ever. I have health issues. I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. I'm a nurse in a very busy pediatric ER. Had huge bouts of insomnia, wasn't sleeping. Was living on Coke Zero and coffee for caffeine just to survive, because I was so exhausted every day. And I had the holiday season was upon us, and then it's the first week in January where you see all the infomercials. I'm like, weight loss, whatever. I'm going to do my own thing. So my birthday is the first week in January. Now I had a huge binge fest during the whole holiday season, starting Halloween, right? And then there's Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year. And so I went out for my birthday, and I had a very lovely dinner, and I always had room for dessert. So I come home with the rest of the birthday cake, and see, my favorite cake is red velvet cake, which not everyone likes. So I ended up with the whole rest of the cake, and no one else took anything home. So I come home from eating a nice dinner with dessert and birthday cake. I sit on my green couch. with my black cute cat Jude on one side, my gray cat Zacchaeus on the other side, and I proceeded, fork in hand, with the whole cake on my lap, not just one slice or two, but the whole cake on my lap, fork in hand, eating my birthday cake, watching a movie, a romantic comedy. Now, I had seen this movie plenty of times. It's my all-time favorite movie. And so as I'm eating the food, for some reason, what was going on resonated with me in a way that it hadn't before. Because see, in the movie, the main character is overweight, she smokes a lot, she drinks a lot, and she doesn't have the healthiest relationships with men. She kind of dates the bad boys, right? And so you hear her saying, you know what? It's a new year. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to smoking. I'm not going to drink as much. And I'm no longer going to date the bad boys. And as you hear that music in the background and you see the video montage of her throwing out her cigarettes, throwing out the junk food, filling her fridge with the healthy food, going to the gym and getting on the bike and working out, I'm literally with fork in hand with my fist raised in the air going, you go, girl. And I literally paused and I thought to myself, well, where's my you go, girl moment? What about me? Is this going to be the rest of my life? Stuffing my face with cake, watching a romantic comedy, disengaging from social events. See, I had slowly been withdrawing from social events because I felt so uncomfortable in my skin. And it was such a huge hassle for me to try to figure out what to wear. Something that didn't make me look fat. I'm going to be 100 with you. Something that, you know, I felt good in my skin. I didn't have anything and I had to keep buying clothes that were in a bigger size. And then I was living in my sweatpants and my yoga pants and because they were more comfortable. And I was withdrawing from social occasions and I would either say no or last second, sorry, can't do it, got a migraine, not feeling well. Even though I was okay, I just didn't want to go. So it got to the point where they stopped asking me. That's how bad it got. So in this reflective moment, I'm like, is this going to be the rest of my life? What about next year? What about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? I have no energy. I'm not sleeping. I'm living off of Coke Zero and coffee. Like what the what? And so once the movie ended, because I did finish watching the movie, I did what I love to do, which is research. I'm a science geek at heart. And I was looking for how do you lose weight, right? But I wasn't looking for eat less and move more. I was digging deep. So I'm looking at journal articles. I'm looking at holistic articles. I'm looking at nutrition articles. I'm looking at the medical journal articles. And I found that weight loss was more than what we eat and how we move. I'm like, why aren't we told this? I learned it's our stress, it's our sleep, it's our hormones. It's the foods that we eat and food sensitivities. I'm like, what the what? Why aren't we told this? Why are we only told it's what we eat and how we move? So as I'm looking and diving into this, I'm like, well, I felt like at the time I just really needed some support and accountability, right? I just needed to get out of that stuck mode and get some support and accountability. So I did pair up with a health coach. And the reason why I paired up with her is because she was completely in alignment with what I had been learning. And she said, we're not going to give you a list of foods to eat because we have to find out what foods are best for you. I'm like, what? That's completely different. She's like, we got to work on your stress. We got to work on your sleep. I'm like, yeah, my stress is a 12 out of 10. I'm really stressed. I'm not sleeping. And so, although I did lose weight, what I found so beneficial and so valuable and so worth my time and investment was that I started to love myself and my body in a way that I hadn't been. I started to appreciate the beautiful body that is me. And I started to treat it the way that it needed to be treated. My health issues were slowly going away. I was sleeping better. My stress was managed better. And yes, I lost weight. But for me, the most significant part was my migraines. I was getting time back. Time that I didn't have because I was, a day or more with migraines. In fact, my friend came into work one day and she saw me. She goes, you haven't had a migraine in a while, have you? And I was thinking like, no, actually I haven't, right? Because everyone was saying, oh, you look great, you're losing weight. But she pointed out to me, she goes, I noticed because every time I come in, when you had a migraine, your eyes were really glassy. But I noticed you haven't had that look in quite some time. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. You're so right. I haven't had a migraine. Yes, life is great. See, when I paired up with my health coach, I didn't tell a single person because I was like, what if this doesn't work for me? What if I'm the one person that it fails? What if I fail it? Yes. But I'm here to tell you that you too can have your you go girl moment. So now I got my certification in health coaching. I've since contributed to a best-selling book. I wrote the chapter on dietless dieting. And the one thing every mom needs to know, it's the #1 international best-selling book on Amazon. I have been featured in Natural Awakenings, which is a holistic magazine. I have been voted top 3 best of the best health coaches. I have been given the Dynamic Speaker Award from Women Rocking Business. And I'm here to tell you, you can have your own you go girl moment, whether it's to simply pull out the clothes that are presently in your closet and rock it out because they fit so much better. Whether it's to rock that dress at your next high school reunion, whether it's to strut yourself on the beach and feel so freaking comfortable in the skin that you're in that it doesn't matter your size, you're rocking it out. Or maybe potentially there's a dream that you've had for your life that you've put on the back burner. I'm here to tell you, you can have your own you go girl moment. It is completely possible. You and your body are unique. Diets do not work for the long run. We truly have to go beyond the food when it comes to weight loss and health. Because you are not one-dimensional. So why choose a program that only deals with one aspect of you in your life? Food, right? That's what most diets tend to focus on, is the food. It's what we eat. They may incorporate some movement, but it's usually food. And I don't say that this is judgment because you don't know what you don't know. We listen to those in authority, right? We listen to the gurus. Hey, I'm a nurse. Even the medical community still to this day says you need to eat less and move more to lose weight, right? I still hear my clients say that their doctor told them that. Yeah. So there is a cost to this when it comes to weight, because yes, there's a whole, for me, it was a body image, it was an emotional component, but there was also health issues for me. With unhealthy weights, higher risk of cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I've got a lot of clients with high blood pressure, abnormal glucose intolerance, which leads to insulin resistance, right? And maybe you're on some metformin now prescribed by your doctor because now you're in insulin resistance. Your insulin is so out of whack, your body's not responding how it should. Type 2 diabetes. There is a psychological or emotional component with depression, low self-esteem. Then you've got knee, ankle, foot pain, back pain too was on the rise. Raises your risk of heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, and death. Then there's a cost of fatigue. There's no energy. So you have no energy to play with your kids, to play with your grandkids, or potentially to play with your partner. Yeah, headaches, joint aches. Then there's the financial cost, because I was putting out a lot of money of over-the-counter prescription medications, prescription and over-the-counters. Doctor's visits. I was looking into acupuncture because my migraines are so bad. So yeah, there is a cost to this. So I'm curious, what is the price that you have been paying? I had to dive deep on, I had to get real with myself. But no matter how much weight you want to lose or how energetic and healthy you want to be, you need personalized strategies and systems to do so. Personalized being the main point. There is no cookie cutter. You are not a cookie cutter woman. You are unique and divinely created. But yet, most of the weight loss programs out there are cookie cutter. You follow the exact same plan as everyone else. So let's get to it. The most common mistakes, I'm going to dive into each of them. Dieting, depriving yourself, no fun. Not eating for your body, dismissing the whole you. So what about these 4 mistakes? Dieting. We have all been programmed to believe it. Dieting is not a new age thing, for lack of a better phrase. It's been since like what, the Middle Ages. Like they've got research that shows that, you know, they have old exercise equipment, things that they did to lose weight. So dieting's been around for 1,000 years or longer. We've been programmed to believe it, right? Foods, and then here's the point, foods are labeled as good or bad. So you should be eating on the list of good foods, right? And don't eat the bad foods. I don't know about you, but every time I ate a bad food, I felt freaking bad, like downward spiral. Yeah. However, your body might not work best on that eating plan. Think about it. Think of all the diets or weight loss programs you've been on. If you're anything like the average woman, you've been on more than one, all right, in your lifetime. And then you might have done it with your BFF, with a family member, and they're losing weight and you're barely budging, right? Nothing's moving for you. Well, your body might not work best on that eating plan. Your body may need more calories. I was just on a client call prior to hopping on here, and I was relaying to her another client of mine who said she's in her 60s, by the way. She's lost weight, she's lost body fat. And she says, I'm telling my friends that I'm eating like a 21-year-old boy. And I said, wait, what do you mean by that? Because, you know, 21-year-olds, they can, in college, right? They can be eating the junk food. She goes, no, I'm not talking about the junk food. I'm talking about, I'm eating volume of food that a 21-year-old boy would be eating. She's eating way more calories than she ever had in her life. And she's in the best shape and best health. And her percent body fat has significantly decreased. It's less than 25%. Her muscle mass has significantly increased. And yet she's eating copious amount of calories. She's like, I mean, like a 21-year-old boy. And we kind of had a good chuckle about that. She's like, and I'm in my 60s. I said, yeah, because we found you need more calories and you need certain type of calories at that. You eat food that is not food. This is a whole nother conversation, because by definition, food has a definition. Did you know that food in the dictionary, some of it's a two parts to that definition, and not all the things that we eat and consume is by definition true food. Yeah. And when we eat food that is not food, our body responds accordingly by gaining weight or making it difficult to lose weight. Because once again, a calorie isn't just a calorie. Sugar calories do affect your body differently than protein, fat, and vegetable calories. There's a documentary that's still out on Amazon Prime. So if you're a Prime member, it's free. I do highly recommend that you watch that. It's called That Sugar Film. And the guy's name is Damon, and I can't remember his last name. It starts with a J, but he goes from eating food that is food and exercising to changing to what it's in Australia, what the typical Australian eats, which is what the medical community in Australia and here in the States tell us to do, right? Which is high grains, low fat, fat-free foods. Well, the average Australian eats 40 teaspoons of sugar a day. By the way, we here in the States, it's more than that. So he switched, and his health was in jeopardy by the end. He had gained weight, he gained fat, and he became addicted to sugar. Highly recommend. It's called That Sugar Film, because this truly shows that sugar calories work so much differently on our body than protein, fats, and other healthier carbohydrate calories. Mistake number 2, have you ever felt like this? You're depriving yourself? I have many times, especially when there's certain holidays that come around, or maybe you have visitors from out of town, or maybe you're going on vacation. What? It's summertime, right? Going on vacation. And you're like, well, oh man, it's not on plan. I can't eat that. It's on the do not eat list. It's a bad food. But you're like, but I'm on vacation. Or we've got family coming into town. We're going out to eat. And you're like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? The thought of depriving yourself and sticking to plan can be very frustrating, right? And eliminating complete food groups causes self-sabotage. Notice the word food is capitalized, because by definition, if we are truly eating food that is food, when we completely eliminate a whole food group, our body goes into, what are you doing to me? I need that. self-sabotage, and it causes cravings, and then we get out of whack. Plus, when you're at the dinner table and you have other people who are eating the dessert and other people who are eating, food that are not on plan or on the bad list, you're like, I call it FOMO. You're missing out. How about this scenario? You eat just a little and it turns into a weekend or a week-long cheat fest. I know, I can completely relate to that. Plus, it causes additional stress. Does any of this sound familiar to any of you? I'm curious. I know for me, Christmas time was one of those things. I'm like, well, if I was on a diet at the time, I'm like, well, December, whatever, I'll go back to it January 1st. And then January 1st would come around. It was a Friday, January 1st. Wait, no, I'll wait till Monday. And Monday comes around. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm supposed to start that diet. I'll wait till the next Monday because I've already done. Yeah. And then next Monday comes into next week. Next week turns into next month. Next month turns into the next month. And then we're back at January 1st with the New Year's resolutions. Yeah. I feel like I've gained the same 10 pounds 10 years in a row. Gained and lost the same 10 pounds 10 years in a row with my dieting. Mistake number 3, you are not eating for your body. Not every diet, and by definition, diet simply means food that you are eating. Not every diet is right for your body. There are various eating plans, and I tell my clients, I've got them. I got lists of eating plans. But if that eating plan is not right for your body, I would be doing you a disservice because you would not see results and you would end up still feeling frustrated with everything. There is no one eating plan that works for every woman, no matter what the gurus say, because even within a healthy eating plan, there potentially could be some foods that you have an intolerance to or sensitivity to on that list. If you had a food intolerance or sensitivity, you might not be popping out with hives or a rash from that food, but however, internally, it's increasing your cortisol, which is that stress hormone. Cortisol is also a sugar. And when you're eating a food that you're sensitive to, your sugar goes up high and it goes high fast. What goes up high and fast tends to come down low and fast. So then we start to feel just not right in our body, really low on energy. Then there could potentially be some cravings because your body is low on energy and it wants the sugar to compensate for that. Gotta get over here, bub, so you can get on my lap. My cat wants my attention. Yeah. So it's mistake number 4. Here is the number 1 mistake, but it's because you don't know what you don't know, dismissing the whole you, which includes your hormones. And I'm not talking just about the female hormones, right? I'm not talking about just your thyroid hormones. There's cortisol, which I just mentioned, human growth hormone, leptin, and ghrelin. You got those hormones to take in consideration, because if your leptin levels are out of balance, you're not going to know if you're satisfied. You're not going to know when to stop eating. If your ghrelin hormone is out of balance and out of whack, you're not going to know when you're hungry, right? So then you're not eating, and then your blood sugar crashes and you're craving and you're feeling wonky in your body, maybe nauseous, maybe extremely exhausted. Your stress. I've yet to find a diet program that addresses with this one. And even with some really good weight loss programs, a lot of times the stress components is one that they maybe touch a little bit on. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how healthy you eat. If you're eating the foods best for your body, if you don't manage with your stress in your life well, you're going to not be able to lose the weight, and you're going to be storing the healthy fat as future fuel, AKA on your hips, your booty. For me, it was my belly. Stress causes malabsorption, which means you do not absorb your vitamins and your minerals. So now all that healthy micronutrients, known as your vitamins and minerals, you don't absorb. So then you pee them out, or it goes into your stool. Then you're not absorbing your protein. So now, because you're not absorbing your protein, your muscle mass is going down. You're losing muscle because you're not eating enough, not absorbing enough. Stress is huge when it comes to weight loss and overall health. And I gotta say, when it comes to us women, the average woman deals with a moderate level of stress on the daily. It's our normal. Like, we don't think anything of it because we've done it for so many years that it's our normal. And it's not until we have a major life stress event like a pandemic or a divorce or a health issue or a health scare that we feel, quote unquote, feel the stress. But yet internally, our body has been responding in a stress response all along. We've just not been recognizing it as it, because that's our normal. I work with women who've been in stress response for years. I was that way myself. You can't lose weight. You end up in adrenal fatigue. Your adrenals get burned out. It affects your thyroid. Then your thyroid gets out of whack. Yeah, stress is huge. Your sleep, you're not sleeping well, either because you're stressed or because the foods that you're eating, or because you just are so busy, you're not getting to bed at a really good hour. And then really good time frame. And then you're tossing and turning. Maybe you have some back pain. Maybe you've got other pain issues. Maybe you've got some GERD or reflux, and you're refluxing, or your esophagus is squeezing and it's waking you up at night, and it's causing you to have palpitations and it's waking you up. By the way, all of that was my symptoms before I went on my own health and weight loss journey holistically. I was barely sleeping 4 hours a night. A lot of that was my stress level, and I was just burnout. It got so bad that I would get like 2 hours of sleep, and no, I would not be able to go back to sleep. So one morning, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I know I'm not going to go back to sleep. So let me just go to McDonald's. Let me get a coffee. Let me get some pancakes, right? And I was amazed at how many people were at McDonald's at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was surprised. Your core or root reasons for weight gain. So what's the reason for gaining weight in the first place? Was it a physical reason? Was there stuff going on behind the scenes, hormones, right? Maybe they're unbalanced, not just the female hormones or thyroid, right? Is there another health issue that's causing histamine intolerance, or maybe you got some food sensitivities, right? Physical reasons for gaining weight. You have a high inflammatory load, right? And so that can cause some weight issues. Is it potentially past trauma, big trauma or little trauma, that was the reason for gaining weight? There's a whole host of other reasons. And if we don't acknowledge and address that, this is why 90% of women who lose weight gain it back, because something's still there below the surface that hasn't been dealt with. So either the physical or the emotional or the combination of both. Your body legacy. This means when you were a little girl, in your family, your immediate environment, who were the women that you were surrounded with the most, whether it be mom, auntie, grandma, maybe mom's best friend, the primary female caregivers or influencers in your life at the time. Our identity is formed by the age of 7. So if we had women in our life who counted every calorie, who weighed the food, who stressed when they gained a pound, who exercised to excess to lose weight, or they binge ate, or they purged, we see that, and we can take those behaviors into our adulthood when it comes to our own weight loss and health issues. No judgment on them. They're just doing the best that they knew what to do at the time, right? Same thing with us, but it does make an impact on how and what we do when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. Your programming, I mentioned that with the dieting, right? We've been programmed to believe it. And that can be very difficult to break, because still to this day, I have clients who ask, how many calories should I be consuming? And I give them my client who's in her 60s, who's like eating 1,500 calories or more, because guess what? 2,000 calories or more, her body needs it. And she's eating the same volume as a 21-year-old boy. Your self-sabotage. So this can be in the moments of cravings or temptations when you choose a food or a behavior or an action that is not in alignment for you to get to your goals, to get to your optimal health and weight. You choose the unhealthy action, food, or behavior. Well, what's the reason for that, right? We can say we have cravings, but what's the reason for actually giving into the cravings, right? There's something going on below the surface. And self-sabotage can be so subtle. I'll give you some examples. This was me. Oh, it's Friday, it's the weekend. I had a really rough work week. I deserve to have the Ben and Jerry's and eat the whole pint. Or, man, it was a very stressful day at work. Oh, glad that day's over. Let me just eat some Ben and Jerry's. It can be very, very subtle. And it can be self-sabotage could be, I know what I need to do. I'm just not motivated to do it. Yeah, got to find out what's going on. Your self-limiting beliefs and mindsets. So, do you feel like you're not worth it? Do you feel like you can't do it? Do you feel like this won't work for you? It does affect our reality. I am statements are very powerful. Whatever comes after the am, the verb am, I am, is your reality, right? So I am healthy versus I am fat or overweight. Very, very powerful, because our brain and our body hears what we say internally and externally. For me, I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't feel like I could do it, and I felt like such a failure because I'm thinking, here I am, a nurse in the medical community. I should have this whole weight loss and health thing figured out, because even the medical community says to eat less and move more. But I was struggling big time. And then how you view your body. Do you view your body in alignment with your mindset, with your head and your heart? Do you view your body as the enemy? Like, body, why can't you lose weight? What's going on? Or is it your head that you're like, man, why can't I do this? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I taking action this way? It makes a big impact. So you and your body are unique. Your whole life recipe, which we just discussed, affects your weight and your health. So here are some reasons why you're potentially stuck. You're still yo-yo dieting, trying to figure out how many calories to eat, eating those low-fat, fat-free foods, right? There potentially could be excuses. I heard someone once say, and it really resonated with me, we are never without an excuse. How powerful is that one? Because I could definitely say, back in my day, I was never without an excuse. Oh, well, this happened, so I'll start Monday. Oh, the weekend's here and I've got plans, so I'll start next week. Yeah. Oh, that didn't happen. I was busy. Lack of focus or distractions. There's a lot out there, especially with social media. Could be shiny object syndrome. I do have ADHD tendencies. I'm always 100 with all of you. So sometimes I can be like, squirrel, squirrel, right? But I'm very focused when it comes to my health coaching and my business. But other areas of my life, I can be like, squirrel, squirrel. Yeah. Social media, getting sucked into social media scroll. Oh, I was going to go exercise, but oh, wow, 2 hours have passed. I'm still in social media. Procrastination. Procrastination could also be a stress response. There is such a thing as freeze in the stress response. That was me. Some of my stress response was actually a freeze mode. And it got to the point where I would take a nap. Like, oh, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm just so tired. I got a headache. I'm going to go take a nap. It's kind of like, if you ever watched the movie Gone with the Wind with Scarlett O'Hara, I was like, I'll think about it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll think about it. That was me. That was my go-to. And I didn't realize that it was actually a stress response for me. I was just freezing. Nope, not going to take action. Strategy. Maybe potentially you don't have the correct strategy. There could potentially be lack of coaching or accountability. Maybe you really do need some guidance and some hand-holding and accountability. Maybe you're thinking you're not good enough, or thinking you can't do it. And here are challenges that every woman faces: wanting to quit, life getting in the way. I'm here to tell you, life will never stop. I was had a conversation with someone, and she's like, well, now's the best time because life's never going to stop. If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? Because there's always something that could potentially get in the way. I'm like, high five for you for acknowledging that. Because back in my day, I didn't acknowledge that at all. Going back to old patterns of behavior, it can be tricky because we're programmed to believe it. So it's very easy to fall back on that. You stress about cheating or not being perfect. You're in your calorie counting app, and when it tells you you've gone over your calories for the day, it's like, now I feel bad and like a failure. Yeah, that was me too. Your self-limiting beliefs, which is huge. Yeah. Self-doubts, thinking you don't have the time. You'll do it when life settles down. You might believe that you can't do it. You've done this so many times and for so many years, it's like, maybe this is it. I had that moment in my life where I felt like this is it. I can't do it. What if it doesn't work for me? Remember I told you I didn't tell anyone I worked with a health coach because I kept thinking, what if it doesn't work for me? What if I'm the one person it doesn't work for? Wanting a faster fix. I'm here to tell you fast fixes do not stick. Quick fixes do not stick, which is why whenever you do a 30-day program, you tend to go back to those old patterns of behavior, right? I've heard it many, many times. Oh, I did a 30-day challenge, did a 30-day sugar detox challenge, and guess what? I'm back to eating sugar the next day, right? Or I did this 30-day program. Yeah, I saw some pounds and inches being released, felt great, but then I went back to what I was doing previously, right? And then we have to get to, which we're going to talk about in a moment, there could be something underlying causing self-sabotage. So that's why I created the 3-pillar personalized weight loss system, which I call the Beyond the Food weight loss method. This is from my years experience. I've been in the counseling healing area since 2000. I've been a nurse since 2008, and I've had my health coaching certification since 2018. So this is all my years experience of working with women in not only weight loss and health, but life as well. So pillar number 1, these must be customized. We do need a customized eating and movement plan. We do need to find out what to eat for our body. And why do we need to do that? Because if we have some food sensitivities or intolerances, it can cause some GI distress, some nausea, like it's not jiving. Gut health can be jeopardized. Then if it's a true sensitivity or intolerance, then it increases your blood sugar because cortisol is a sugar. And now we might have potentially some blood sugar instability, which can drive cravings and eating those foods that keep the cravings going, those empty calories, right? And we do want to be able to socialize, right? Food is a cultural thing, right? In many cultures, food is used for social gatherings and events. And I grew up in a Baptist church and we always had our potlucks, right? So you can't get away from food, but we need to find what your customized eating plan for your unique body is. And then we need to move your body with movement that you love and will do, because movement does affect our blood sugar. So it helps stabilize it. So we're not having the cravings, so that we're not dropping low and having those energy slumps during the afternoon. So also we need a personalized eating plan so you can stop eating about being frustrated and not knowing what to eat, so that you can burn fat more efficiently. Put your body in fat burning mode so that you can be free from the bondage of food, right? Because you know the foods that your body thrives on. You're no longer enslaved or in bondage to the food, because that's what I felt like my binge eating years. I was in bondage to the foods. You can have that freedom. And so you can stop being so frustrated and overwhelmed in the latest diet trend and fad of now they're saying to eat this way and to eat that, because you know, hey, that doesn't matter what they say. I know that these foods are best for my unique body. And so this is one of my graduates, Nancy. When she came to me, she was having really bad joint issues, and it got joint pain. It got so bad that she was unable to continue to go bike riding with her husband. They bike 20, 25 miles over the course of a day and a week or a weekend. And that's her together time with her husband. And she said, I can barely get 5 miles in. My joints, my knees specifically hurt so much. I know something's going on. Well, with working with her and finding out the foods that she needed to eat, she was actually eating a lot of foods that drive inflammation, one of them being sugar. And she found that she was eating a lot more sugar than she thought she was eating. She found some foods were driving cortisol up with food sensitivities, right? Blood sugar instability, which causes inflammation as well. So after working with me, she ended up losing 15 pounds, but for her, her joints stopped hurting. She was amazed. She said, oh my goodness, my joints no longer hurt, and I'm able to go bike riding back on the trails with my husband. She's like, we have our together time back again. So here's what I mean by what you eat in movement, right? This is a picture of an iceberg. The iceberg, what's underneath the water, is so much bigger than what's on top. So here's what you eat and movement, which are very valid. This is what most diets tend to address, just these two. But look at what is left of the iceberg. Remember I kept saying there was a missing components to all diets? Well, let me tell you, those missing components were a lot, and it was huge. Here were all the missing components of the traditional diets, and even a lot of weight loss programs. They're not addressing the hormones, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, human growth hormone. They don't acknowledge that your body might potentially be in protector mode, right? Weight loss is a healing work. So your body might be in protector mode. It might be protecting you from getting hurt because potentially you were hurt deeply when you were at a lower weight. So your body's going, well, you're losing weight. We can't have that because you were hurt when you were at a lower weight. We need to protect you from that. It's all very on an unconscious level. They don't address your stress. We women have stress. We're very good at pushing through it and not acknowledging it and thinking it's normal. We're not sleeping well. There's some self-sabotage going on, but what's the reason for it? They don't address your body legacy. They don't address the reason for regaining the weight. They just say, or your hormones again. They just say, well, you need to eat less and move more, which was why with every diet I went on, I'm like, something's missing. There's a missing piece. And I found, boy, there was a lot of missing pieces. So that's why I have pillar 2 and pillar 3. Pillar 2 is the missing essential steps because we have to rebalance and stabilize hunger and fat burning hormones. And we do this by looking at your whole life recipe. What else is involved in your life, right? Well, we have stress. Once again, we have stress in all areas of life, especially now. It could be financial stress, could be relationship stress, could be work stress. It could be you've got a newborn and you're not sleeping stress. It could be your homeschooling stress. It could be you've got relatives out of town and they're not in the best of health and you're stressing about them. We women, I liken our lives to a bowl of noodles. Do you know that one noodle can touch all the noodles in the bowl? So that's our life. One area of our life affects other areas, which is why we're really great at multitasking. So we can have a baby on our hip, cooking dinner, and then trying to take care of the pet all at the same time while the men are like just watching TV because they're like waffles. They can only think in boxes and they can only have one box open at a time. They can't multitask. Their brains are not designed to do that. So women, ninja tip, if you ever have to have an important conversation with your partner of the other sex, give them 24 hours. Say, look, we got to have a discussion about this tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Is that good for you? All right, good. So that he has time to close the box that is currently open and open the box of whatever that topic, that talk is in. We need to sleep well. We need to get into deep sleep so that our body can release an amazing hormone called human growth hormone. Human growth hormone helps our body to burn fat more efficiently. It is the opposite of cortisol. So as our cortisol increases, guess what happens to human growth hormone? Our human growth hormone decreases. But the opposite is true. When our cortisol increases, when our human growth hormone increases, our cortisol decreases. And 75% of human growth hormone is released during sleep, but it's released during deep sleep. Many women are not getting into that deep restorative sleep. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half from the time we actually start to sleep to get into that phase of sleep. We don't just jump right into it. But what some women do is they actually end up waking up, tossing and turning within an hour, hour and a half of sleeping. Well, once you wake up, your body now has to go through the phases of sleep again. It can't just jump in the last phase you were in. It has to start all over again if you woke up with the phases of sleep. So now it's going to take another hour, hour and a half to get into deep sleep. But if you're tossing and turning and waking up and you go back to sleep, once again, that sleep cycle has to start over again, which is why many women wake up exhausted, low on energy to begin with, going for the cup of coffee or the soda. That was me back in the day. I was so exhausted. I couldn't wake up I couldn't function that well in the morning without at least 2 cups of coffee. It's because my body wasn't really getting into that deep rejuvenating sleep. Human growth hormone is released 75%, which human growth hormone is an anti-aging hormone. It helps us with our skin, helps us with the anti-aging protection. It helps us to burn fat more efficiently. It helps us to counteract the stress hormone cortisol. So if you're not sleeping well and you're really stressed, guess what? Your cortisol is high, 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 high. That was me, because I had hardly any human growth hormone to counteract that. And I wasn't getting the deep rejuvenating sleep. Why would we want to do this? So we can, even though we're not going to be completely free of stress, because life's always going to life on us, we can at least work. Our body can be in a out of that stress response. Our body can be out of the stress response and into the rest or digest response. Our body cannot do both at the same time, and it will always choose to help you deal with stress so that we can sleep like a baby, or in this picture, a cat, and sleep deeply and get that good rejuvenating sleep, get into that good deep sleep, which will also help us to our blood sugar levels. Because if we're increasing human growth hormone, we're naturally decreasing cortisol, which is a sugar. Yeah, lots of things to go on that. So once again, human growth hormone, getting sleep, managing stress better. We can actually burn fat more efficiently, especially if you have belly fats. That's usually a stress issue for women, so that you can feel free and have the energy to slay your day and not have to choose when you get home to either cook dinner or to clean the house. Like, you have the energy, and play with your kids. Like, you have the energy to do all of the above, so that you can dance, play with your kids, your grandkids, your pets, or your partner. So here's Brandy. That's one of my graduates from my program. She came to me, she's like, I'm a sugar addict. And she came to me from a very popular weight loss program that she had done. And she said, okay, don't tell me what to eat and what not to eat, because I'm just burned out on that. I'm tired of all the lists. I'm tired of feeling bad when I eat the foods that are on the do not eat list. I'm like, totally cool, not a problem. She was stressed. She is a licensed clinical social worker, and her job was very stressful. And she had some stress at home. So for her, it was causing her to crave sugar. And the more sugar we eat, the more we become addicted to it. Yes. So with working with stress management techniques and sleeping better as well, she lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks. Now you might look at that, 7 pounds in 6 weeks. That's all. Some people would look at that, right? Because some 30-day programs, they lost 15 pounds, whatever. But she got so much more than just that weight loss and her energy back. I'm going to share more about what she got later on. Then pillar number 3, which I call the secret sauce. How do we keep the weight off? Have you ever felt like you were just losing and gaining the same amount of weight over and over again? I know I did. So we do need to discover reasons for self-sabotage. What's going on? Why are we not why are we not taking action? Why are we giving in to the cravings? We need to learn what your body legacy was so we can acknowledge that and create a new normal with new and better strategies. Are you potentially, stressing out when you gain a pound? Are you have a love-hate relationship with your body, right? That's legit. I had clients who said, I hate my body. I was at that point too. Is your body legacy one where, you had someone in your life who was a binge eater, an overeater, or soothe their emotions with sugar, right? I mean, goodness, even in TV and movies, we see what do we do to calm our emotions down? We go for the sugar and the ice cream, right? So we do take those behaviors into adulthood. We need to uncover the roots of your weight gain to begin with, right? What caused the initial weight gain? Was it physical? Was it emotional? Was it a combination of the two? Because it could potentially be the same reason you're regaining the weight again, right? It could be, maybe it was physical to begin with, but now there's an emotional component that's coming into play. So we need to discover that why, so that we can change your mindset. We can have a reframing of that, We can have a healthier body legacy. We can get rid of those limiting beliefs and that you can be successful on your journey and have that freedom that you want, have that relationships that you want. The overall theme I hear from many women is a theme of freedom. I just want to be free of this struggle. You know, relationship. I want to have better relationships. Yeah. So you will end up with tools to maintain your optimal healthy weight. What kind of diet or weight loss program has ever given you a maintenance one? Right? Or given you strategies to keep the weight off? It's usually you need to buy another 30-day program, get the shakes again, keep eating this way, which might not be the best health-wise. There are a lot of foods that aren't food by definition that are on a lot of weight loss programs. And then it drives inflammation. Inflammation causes blood sugar instability, and then it causes a whole other host of other health problems. There is such a thing as skinny fat, where we're skinny in our body, but yeah, our visceral fat, which is the really bad fat, is high, and it's covering our organs. And now we have a whole host of other issues. And you might not feel the results of it right away. It might take some years, but sooner or later, it's going to catch up. To help you overcome those self-limiting beliefs, that you have an attitude of, yes, I can do it. Yes, this is possible. Yes, I'm putting myself higher on my list of priorities, because you can't give from an empty cup. You can't give when you have no reserves left. Yeah. Mastering that mindset. So when times of self-sabotage come, when times of, oh my goodness, I did this come, we're mastering mindset in such a way that it's okay, right? When I remember when I worked with my health coach, she helped me with the binge eating. I wanted immediate results with that. And I'd get on session and say, oh my gosh, I did it again. And she'd ask me what I ate. And then she said, you know, you ate so much less than what you normally would have eaten. So mastering mindset is acknowledging the small wins, acknowledging those non-scale victories, right? Acknowledging that you're putting action more often than not. We need to master mindset. Small steps still get you to the top. Oftentimes we want the big steps. We want to take those leaps and bounds to see immediate results, but quick fixes don't stick. Small steps still get you to the top. So we got to master a mindset with that. So you can stop the self-sabotage, create a positive body image and legacy, and get your confidence back. If you have little ones, teenagers, grandkids, what body image and what body legacy do you want to leave for them, right? Because they do see it. They do see it. But once again, no judgment. You are doing the best that you know how to do. So now we know that it does have an impact. Now we can be empowered to make choices and decisions. So you can master a new, healthier way of coping, which is a new normal. So you can end the emotional and the stress eating. So here's another client of mine, Danny. She worked with me during the whole ish of 2020. Her job was essential. In fact, she was working overtime. She had 2 little kiddos at home who, at the end of the day, after working an overtime shift, she would come home and help them with their homeschooling. She did have the help of her mom and dad. They helped get them on session for their, the homeschooling, in the public schools, get them on the Zoom and whatever they were using. But she had to come home and help them with the rest. She wanted to lose weight. She was a single mama. She wanted to lose weight. And she also wanted to stop smoking. She ended up losing 25 pounds. She ended up decreasing the amount of cigarettes she was smoking significantly. This is in the middle of a freaking pandemic, by the way, right? Where stress is high. She's working overtime, so that stress. Now she has the added stress of homeschooling her kiddos, right? And making sure her mom and dad know what needs to be done the next day. She said, I have a new attitude of I can do it. I'm like, if you freaking can do it in a pandemic, oh my gosh, girl, you can do it. Oh my gosh, yes. So we learned, she discovered the foods that she needed to eat for her body, and she focused on those foods, which gave her the energy to work, to homeschool, to go walking 10,000 steps almost every day for her. So there are 2 steps to move forward. You can absolutely do it by yourself. I told you the 3 pillars, what you need to do. You can definitely do it, but it's tiring. And it will probably take you a lot longer, because being consistent is the #1 struggle I hear among women. right? There's no support or accountability. Then there's the, okay, am I really doing things that I need to be doing? Is this what's best for me and my body? How do I manage the stress? Now this life event hit. OMG, what I do here, it can be very overwhelming. Plus, if you put in the search engine, how to lose weight healthily, there's page after page after page after page. Or you can lock arms with someone who has already proven to make it work in busy everyday life. So remember Brandy, I told you she got so much more than the losing 7 pounds in 6 weeks. She got her vision for her life. See, one of the goals Brandy had when she first started to work with me is she said, I want to have the stamina to go out and just serve the homeless population, because she had such a huge heart for that population. She said, and where they live, it's called the forest. And you can only drive your car so far, and then you have to physically go out and step over the logs, go through the forest, go on the, because there's only so far the trails go before you have to get off trail to find where they're living in their tents. She said, I don't have the stamina to even go half of the way, but I want to be able to carry food, to carry water, to go out all the way, to sign them up for services for which they're eligible for, to serve them food, to serve them water, to look them in the eyes and to tell them that they have worth and they have value. And I'm here to support you. I said, oh my gosh, Brandy, that's an awesome vision. We got to get you that. So during the course of getting her stress under control, sleeping better, she naturally was eating less sugar, which decreased her inflammatory load, which helped her with her stamina. And I'll never forget the day when she got back in session. She said, I did it. I did it. I'm like, okay, tell me, what is it? What did you do? She said, I was able to walk carrying a case of water the rest of the way into the forest where the homeless population lived. I gave them the water. I helped give them the food. I signed them up for services for which they deserve. I told them I'm here to support them and that they have worth and value. I'm like, oh my gosh, Brandy, we were in tears. I'm like, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. She said, I love it. I can't believe I'm able to do it. I'm like, you go, girl, because you implemented it and you put the work in. So she got so much more than weight loss. She got her vision for her life. So what vision do you potentially have for your life, right? Do you want to speak on stages? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to help a minority population, right? Do you want to, I truly believe that we women are going to be the voice of change in the world, and we have to let our voices be heard. But if we're too toxic with chemicals in our body, too low on energy, if we're not eating for our body, if we're not moving our body, if we're given into self-sabotage, it's going to be another year, another New Year's resolution before we ever are able to get to doing that. But so what's the price of inaction? I had to get real with myself when I was researching how to lose weight healthily and found the missing components. I had to be honest with myself. If I don't do it now, when? Because when's always going to be next year, another time, and it's year after year goes by. So I had to, what's the price of inaction on my family, on my relationships, on my finances? Oh my gosh, the money I spent on over-the-counter medications, weight loss supplements. I added up one day and I spent over $10,000 on weight loss programs, supplements, all the different foods you had to purchase from them, shakes. I added all up. And that doesn't even include the money I put into learning what does work and the time I put into that. What's the price of inaction on your health? What's the price of inaction on your vision for you and your life? People who have a coach are 90% more successful than those who don't. 90% more successful. So that's why I created the Beyond the Fork Real Deal Weight Loss Program, because it truly goes beyond the food when it comes to the weight loss equation. I created this for busy women because it's a program that you don't have to fit your life into a program. I've been on very robust programs. I felt like, dang, I had to force my life to fit into the program. Like, I need all this time to implement this program. Been there, done that. My program's designed for those who are busy. So that you can implement the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method to lose weight and keep it off, because you get personalized strategies to successfully get you to your optimal healthy weight for your unique body and keep it off. This program is to help you go from burnt out, exhausted, unhealthily overweight, and aiding your emotions to rejuvenated, energized at your optimal healthy weight for your body and feeling your feelings instead of eating them. You see what happens when women such as my clients, Brandy, Nancy, April, Gina, take action to no longer have to go out and figure out on their own, to get that support and accountability, to lose weight, get their cravings under hand, to find what they need to eat for their bodies. We find a whole host of reactions, of responses. Their cravings are going away. They're sleeping better than ever. They're managing their stress so well that it calms their nervous system, not only for them, but affects those around them for the better. They're energized. They're able to manage life when life hits hard. They don't freak out when something unexpected happens, right? They're still busy. They're still able to keep up with life, but they're able to do it in a way that they have the energy to do so. And women who come to me say, look, I get it, but right now I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I got so much going on. I'm a caregiver to an elderly parent. And I understand that's big stress right there. Big stress. But here's the thing. Here's what happens when women carve out the time to invest, is that we can save you hours, if not months of time in dealing with having to go to the doctor for various health issues, losing time from work because you have a migraine or you need to leave because you're sick, losing time because you've got a cold or the flu or something else because of the excess sugar consumption really depletes your immune system, as well as stress. So your immune system can't fight off the colds, the flus, the viruses as efficiently as it can. We can give you a whole lot of time back. And I get it. Some women say, but I just don't have the resources to invest. But here's what I would like to invite you into. The opportunity that as you do invest, we can save you a whole host of money in other areas as well. Remember, I'd mentioned that financial cost to begin with. I spent over $10,000 finding what didn't work. I would love to have that money back, by the way, that I wasted. Yes, save time researching on your own and save time with stuff that doesn't work. Yeah. Why? So that you can shed the excess weight, so that you can boost your energy, so that you can lower your stress and put your body into fat burning mode, so that you can sleep better and balance those hunger hormones, so that you can get your vision for your life. We have got to get to the front side of this, my friends, so that you can be the joyous, creative, take action woman of change that you were designed to be and that this world needs. And it doesn't need to be on a national, global level. Change starts in the home, by the way. Yeah, change starts in the home. What are you modeling to your kiddos or your grandkids, right? Yeah, get your vision for your life so that you can enhance your body's ability to burn fat, discover what food you need to eat to burn the fat, discover food sensitivities, which is huge, which the diet industry doesn't tell you about. So you could potentially be eating a very healthy meal, but if it has food in it for which you're sensitive to, it drives cortisol up, inflammation, blood sugar instability. Yeah, right now I can't do tomatoes, spinach, or strawberries, right, which are healthy. But if I eat them, stuff happens. And I've actually ended up losing some weight, some excess weight that I was like, oh, wow, this is a great benefit. Wasn't my intent because I had health issues, but once you discover food sensitivities and stay away from it, the weight can easily come off. So that you can get healthy habits that enliven you and your cravings for unhealthy foods eat for your unique body so that you can be one of the 5% who keeps the weight off. No more yo-yo dieting. I was like, yeah, again, amen. So here is what you get with the Beyond the Fork Real Deal Weight Loss Program. You get accountability and individualized supports. You will be implementing the 3-pillar personalized weight loss method. It includes 2 coaching calls a month with action guides, resources, cheat sheets, and checklists to help you take action in between sessions, right? It is personalized, it is individualized, because you have, if life happens in the moments where you're like, oh my gosh, this happened yesterday and we're in session, I can help give you strategies to navigate. Sometimes it's a life issue we need to deal with in the moment because we need you to easily navigate and take action. And that's a way of lowering stress. All right. You get a Facebook group there. You get the 4 Keys to End Cravings Masterclass immediately upon enrollment. And you do get email and text support from me, by the way, Monday through Thursday. So if anything happens, you can quickly send me a text and I guarantee to answer within 24 hours. So here is Gina. She found food sensitivities and intolerances. She really came to me because she wanted to get help with her autoimmune symptoms. And she was like, maybe I'm eating foods that aren't best for me. And we found she was eating a lot of foods for which she was sensitive to. And she had to choose what to do in the afternoon. She'd come home from work and she said, after my shower, I had to choose either to cook food or to clean the house. I couldn't do both. I had no energy. She goes, I don't have energy to play with my grandkids. I don't have energy to go out in outings because I'm so exhausted. She got in session with me. She goes, you don't understand. I have not had the amount of energy I have right now in years. It's been years since I've had this energy. Her autoimmune symptoms significantly decreased. She had her energy back. And she goes, oh, by the way, I did lose weight too. She's like, I had a few extra pounds. But she's like, I thought they weren't going to come off. And she said, I never felt like I was depriving myself. I was eating consistently. I didn't have any cravings. I was never hungry, never felt deprived. So she goes, when I stepped on the scale and noticed I had lost those pounds, I was happily surprised. She goes, now all my clothes just really fit better because we helped her with her stress. We found her food sensitivities. Yeah, and she's eating for her unique body and she's sleeping better than ever. You do get bonuses. Bonus number 1, the Metabolism Jumpstart, Rev Up the Weight Loss 14-day cleanse. We are inundated by toxins and chemicals on the daily. You can eat organic, you can eat clean, you can get organic skincare, shampoo, soap, but it's in our environment. We're exposed to it. Herbicides, pesticides, secondhand smoke, whatever company industries releasing stuff in the air. I used to live very closely to an industry plant growing up, elementary school. And be like, all right, they're releasing something again because you'd have to smell it in the air. What are they releasing now, right? Maybe you're living close to an environment like that right now, or maybe you grew up like that. We're exposed to toxins and chemicals. It's difficult for us to release weight when we are toxic. It really is. It's a protection mechanism, actually. The fat is protecting you from getting really, really, really sick. Our liver is way too busy detoxing us from other things, prescription medication, over-the-counter medications, other things, so that when we are exposed to toxins and chemicals, our body goes, we need to protect you because if all this is in your bloodstream, you're going to be really, really sick. Hey, obesogens make more fat cells for these toxins and chemicals. And that's where weight gain can occur. And that's where the inability to lose weight can also occur. So this helps you to gently offload some toxins and chemicals so you can actually lose weight, especially belly weight, and get your energy back. I had a client, Mary Lou, who did this. And she said, oh my gosh, I have so much energy. I'm vacuuming the house at 10:30 at night. Her husband came out of the bedroom downstairs, go, honey, what did you just take? Because you're vacuuming the floors at 10:30. What's going on? We had a good laugh about that. He thought she was on something. What'd you take? Bonus number 2, Sleep the Weight Off video course. You can get started right away. Help you with easy to implement tips and tricks to help you to sleep get to sleep faster and sleep deeper, balances hunger hormones, and decrease those cravings. Bonus number 3, if you're low on energy, one of the tips in here, one of my clients, Nancy, she looked at me going, what? No, just do that? Really? I'm like, yeah, try it for a week and let me know. By day 5, she's calling me going, girl, that tip you gave me, oh my gosh, it really does make a difference. I thought it did, like that was too easy to do. I'm like, yeah, some of these strategies are not difficult, but they work. Bonus number 4, stress less, lose more challenge. Immediately learn some techniques to lower your stress. We dive a lot deeper into this in the program because stress is so huge when it comes to health and weight. So huge. But this is easy to implement tips and strategies you can use right away on enrollment. So here's what you're going to get. The Beyond the Fork Real Deal Weight Loss Program. You get the 2 coaching calls a month. You get support and accountability, email, text support, Facebook group. You get guides, cheat sheets, action steps. You get easy to implement video content as well. You get the bonuses of the Metabolism Jumpstart, Sleep the Weight Off video course, Balance Energy, Stress Less, Lose More, and a VIP kickoff call. We've got to get to the front side of the whole weight loss issue, my friends. What is the vision you have for yourself? What's the benefit of getting all these benefits? Think of it that way. If you lost the belly fat, what would that do for you? If you had your energy back, what would that do for you? If your cravings were decreased significantly and they went away, what would having that do for you? If you were sleeping better, what would having that do for you? If you were eating foods that your body thrives on versus just survives on, what would having that do for you? So apply for the Beyond the Fork weight loss program. There is a link. Just click on the link to get to the applications to apply and schedule a consult. Because when you schedule your consults, I'm going to develop a plan for you. Because remember, it is so possible. This is just a smidge of the women I've worked with. Nancy, Kathy, Danielle, Brandy, Susie, April is now pregnant with her 2nd child. Gina's autoimmune symptoms decreased and she lost excess weight. So are you ready for results? Are you ready for results? I will help you develop a plan to get to your optimal healthy weight this year so that you can break the chains of dieting and emotional and stress eating so that your one day is now today, so that your someday is sooner rather than later, so that you can be the change that is needed in this world, in your home, locally, nationally, globally, whatever that looks like for you. So that you can be the woman that you are destined, designed to be, full of joy, full of energy, slaying your day, living the life of your dreams. It is possible. And I'm here, and it'd be my privilege to support you in doing so. So simply click the link to get to the application process. You can definitely do it by yourself, but what has doing it by yourself gotten you so far? To your health, click the link.